afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Will the meeting of the Public Service Commission for March 25th please come to order? The first thing on the agenda is the reading of the meeting minutes from March 11th, 2026. Are there any questions or changes on those minutes, please?
Madam Acting Chair, this is Commissioner Drexler.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gray?
Commissioner Gray is here, and I move that we adopt the minutes as submitted.
We have a second.
I second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 For the records, I was not here on that.
Oh, that's right. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not voting.
Commissioner Conaway says aye. The minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the public comment. And we have two people who would like to speak to us on that. Number one is Brian Jordan, or do you want Ms. Shen to go first? Okay. And Ms. Shen, both from Delmarva.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Yishang Shen, and I'm an attorney at Delmarva Power. Thank you for allowing me some time during public comment today. I'm speaking to share some bittersweet news for Delmarva. Our colleague, Brian Jordan, has recently left the legal team to take on a new role as Director of External Affairs for Delmarva. This is a well-deserved promotion for Brian. Those of you lucky enough to have a lawyer in your life know that as a rule, we're generally not known for our social skills or our sparkling personalities. Fortunately for all of us, Brian is a clear exception. And perhaps that's why he's chosen to leave the legal team. I joined Delmarva Power about 2 years ago, and I quickly found a trusted friend and colleague in Brian. Not only is he a brilliant attorney, he is a generous colleague. He's always quick to give credit and share credit with others. He's always willing to provide support, lend a hand, and of course, always ready with an obscure movie quote. Brian's unique set of skills will serve him well in his new role as Director of External Affairs. Although I and the rest of our legal team miss him tremendously, I know that his new role will be a great benefit to our customers and neighbors across Delaware. And hopefully he will not be a stranger to the commission either. I hope that you'll join me in congratulating Brian and wishing him every success. Thank you for your time. And I believe Brian wanted to share a few words as well. Thank you.
Let me start with a thank you to Zhang for those very kind words. I told my wife to tune in. I hope she got to hear all of that as well as my children. So they get to see, some of the gratitude that I get. But I also want to thank the commission for the time today to address you. I started with Delmarva 6 years ago as an attorney, right when COVID started. And so our first meetings were virtual. But this is actually my 16th year of practicing law in the state of Delaware. And through that time, I've gotten to meet a lot of lawyers, a lot of clients. I've been in front of every justice of the peace court, every court of common pleas, every superior court, family court, court of chancery, and superior court in all 3 counties. And I've seen a lot. And the people that I've gotten to interact with and meet with during my time in front of the commission has been the best of all of that. I want to start with some thank yous to the staff who were here when I started and who are here now, and that's Malika, Trish, Izzy, Samantha Kane, not Samantha Hijack. Yeah. Josh, Matt, Lisa, Wayne Erickson, Crystal. You guys have really been great colleagues. And I say that in the sense that we might be on opposite sides at times, but I think in true Delaware fashion, we're able to do that with a lot of collegiality, generosity, and respect for each other. For the public advocate, I wanted to say thank you to Ruth Ann. I'm not sure if she's tuning in or not, but she was here when I started. Gina, who we all remember as well, and then to Samantha now in her new role. Thank you for that. Jameson, thank you too. You're the third public advocate I've seen. First was Drew Slater, then Ruth Ann, and now you. And don't tell Drew or Ruth Ann, but I think you're on a good path to be the best public advocate we've had. I also wanted to thank Gloria. I know she's not here today, but hopefully she'll get to see this because you can't do anything without a good court reporter, and she is one of the best. I've also had really a great opportunity to interact with a lot of attorneys. When I started with Delmarva, Gina was representing the public advocate. Tom Walsh was for staff, and Bill O'Brien was also for staff. And I can say the quality of the work, and I'm not saying this because Bill's sitting behind me, but I think it says something when to understand an issue, you go back and look at how another attorney did something. You would go back and look at arguments that person was on. And Bill did not charge me for his time, but I spent a lot of time looking at what he had done in the past and how he had drafted things. And it was a big help. I also want to recognize Hearing Examiner Kenton and Senior Hearing Examiner Lawrence for all the work that they do, all the time that they put into it, the diligent efforts that they put into everything, and to do it under complicated circumstances and under deadline is always very impressive. To the new commission staff, who I also think are off on a really great start and are representing the commission and staff under very difficult circumstances. And of course, there's the commissioners themselves. You have all been here before I was here, and it looks like you'll be here at least for a little bit after I'm here. But I've noticed the generosity and the collegiality there too, and that's something that you don't always see. And I remember the one time I brought Cheyenne, my youngest daughter, here, and Commissioner Gray recognized her, as a future partner for Jordan and Jordan. And it was great because not only did she feel like she was recognized, but she was made to feel like she was important. And that's something I think that the commission has done for all of the attorneys and the litigants who have appeared before it. With your time, your expertise, and like I said, your generosity, it does not go unnoticed. And it really made practicing in front of this commission a real pleasure. Of course, there's still one buckaroo out there on the range who I have not mentioned. I asked that he tune in. His name's Jim Geddes. And the reason I wanted to mention Jim is because he has been a really strong influence on me over the past 6 years. And I say that because I didn't know Jim until I started practicing in front of the commission. And one of the very first issues I had to brief my client on, I'm going back and I'm doing research and I see this case called Delmarva Power and Light Company versus the Public Service Commission, submitted September 24th, 1985. And the name on that case is Jim Geddes. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is a guy who was submitting Supreme Court briefs, a few weeks after I celebrated my 5th birthday. So while I'm putting together a Lego set, he's putting together a Supreme Court brief about these power issues. And I'm like, how am I going to tell this guy anything, But I didn't have to because Jim was one of those Delaware attorneys, and I can count on one hand how many I've experienced in my 16 years, whose command of the issues, whose personality, whose generosity, and whose intelligence form the sort of attorney whose respect and admiration you want to earn in return. You have that respect for them, you respect their work product, you respect how they represent their client, and you want to be that, and you want to get that person's respect back. And for me, Jim has always been that standard in front of the commission when it comes to talking to my client, when it comes to presenting a case to the commission, when it comes to talking to customers, to do so in plain English and upfront and truthful and ethical in everything that we present. So, I did ask Jim to tune in as well, so I hope he was able to tune in to hear that. I guess of all of us who worked here through COVID, he'll be the last attorney as well. And with that, I'll close out with just recognition of the outside counsel I've gotten to work with here. Pam Scott and Courtney Schultz, clearly for Delmarva, but also Jamie Nutter. I have had some experiences with Jamie as well. And again, you really can't ask for better attorneys than what you get in Delaware. And you can't ask for better Delaware attorneys than what you have in front of you in the commission. So I really very much appreciate everything that this commission, the attorneys, the staff, the employees have done. I really value the relationships that we've created. But going forward, I'll be spending my Wednesdays on the other side of Dover in Legislative Hall instead of here in front of the commission. My parting comments are to Zhejiang, who has been a very treasured, I would say, a comrade in arms here. I keep coming back to the word generosity, but she has got a generous spirit. She has got an inquisitive mind. And I mean this in the highest praise. She is an excellent writer, and I think that's the hallmark of a great attorney. She is able to put things in plain English. She is persuasive. And after you read something that she's written, you find yourself saying, yeah, that's what I thought too. You want to take credit for it because it's that good. And so I really leave legal in very good hands with Zhejiang and with all of you and maintaining those relationships. So again, thank you very much for the past 6 years.
Very welcome, and thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Also from
Other-
Commissioner Gray, thank you very much. We appreciate your service and wish you the best in your new role.
Are there any other members of the public who would like to comment? There being none, we'll go on to the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody would like to see moved? May I have a motion then to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I move that we adopt the consent agenda.
May I have a second, please?
I second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Drexler,
Aye.
Commissioner Korea,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion carries. All right, the next thing on the agenda is the regular agenda. Number one is the matter of the formal complaint of Diana Rayfield against Delmarva Power. I believe you may have all read the hearing examiner's report. Exceptions? Ms. Shen, do you have anything to say?
Good afternoon. Again, Zishang Shen on behalf of Delmarva Power and Light Company. I'm not sure if Ms. Rayfield is here in person or on the Zoom, but I did want to make sure she had an opportunity to present her exceptions if she chose to.
She's not on the phone and she's not here in person.
Well, I'm on behalf of Delmarva, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission might have had. But otherwise, our position would be to ask the commission to adopt the hearing examiner's report and enter the proposed order that's been submitted.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments?
Madam Acting Chair, this is Commissioner Drexler. And I do have one question, and that is for Ms. Chen. And the question is, when you determine that someone who presents a medical letter is presenting it in error, or it's not from a Delaware MD, it is not acceptable, it says that according to regulation and law, you're not required to explain to the person why it's been rejected. And is that the case in practice? And if so, why?
Well, Commissioner Drexler, I believe that at issue here, I think you're referring to the denial that Ms. Rayfield had submitted, and it was denied due to non-payment, which was explained right on the notice, so she had attempted to renew her certification, the medical certification, and accompanied by a signed certification from a medical practitioner. This particular certificate was not denied due to a faulty physician signature, but it was denied due to non-payment of her account balance.
Okay, there was reference in the, I guess, the hearing examiner's review indicating that it was not presented by an accepted MD, Delaware MD. So understanding it was it was denied because of the non-payment, but I didn't know if when somebody does present a medical certification that it can be denied without the person knowing why it was denied.
No, so it would explain, the reason for the denial. So that way the person, if the individual, they can go back and obtain the correct signature.
Right.
I think the standard under the statute is either a Delaware licensed physician or some kind of comparable accreditation.
Okay, thank you very much. That's answered my question.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Other questions? May I have a motion on the dismissal, please?
I move that we adopt the proposed order number 10980.
I second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by voting aye. Commissioner Drexler,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Korea,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
The second item on the regular agenda is the matter of the application of Chesapeake Utilities Corporation for approval of a change in its gas sales service rates, be effective November 1st, 2025. I believe we have Mr. O'Brien from Chesapeake.
Thank you, Acting Chair Conaway and Commissioners. Bill O'Brien on behalf of Chesapeake Utilities. Docket number 25-0834 is Chesapeake's annual GSR filing, which adjusts our gas cost rate on a dollar-for-dollar basis with a true-up each year for actual costs based on either an under-collection of revenues or an over-collection from the prior period. The GSR proceeding is still underway, but there is a temporary rate in effect since last November 1st, approved by the Commission last October. When Chesapeake's projected undercollection exceeds 6%, our tariff requires a filing to adjust the GSR rate to reduce the undercollection. On March 6th, Chesapeake filed a request for a waiver of the tariff requirement that requires the adjustment. The reasons Chesapeake provided for the waiver request are set out in the proposed order and in the memorandum from Commission staff. The company also noted that the primary driver of the projected undercollection was the prolonged, abnormally cold weather extending from late December through the early parts of February 2026, which increased energy demand and gas consumption across our region, significantly driving up commodity prices. After conferring with staff and the Division of the Public Advocate, Chesapeake now proposes to increase its temporary GSR rates effective April 1st, 2026 by 10 cents per therm, with a proportional increase to its high load factor service. If approved, this change would result in an approximate $2.46 per month bill impact to a residential customer for the remainder of the GSR period, and it would decrease the projected undercollection balance by approximately $1.4 million. What you have before you is proposed order number 10992, which would adjust the temporary GSR rates as proposed, effective April 1st, 2026. These rates are still subject to refund pending the Commission's final decision on the underlying GSR application. You also have staff's memorandum recommending approval of the proposal. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the Commission enter the proposed order number 10970. Wait, is that the right order?
9-2.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10992. And I thank you and I thank staff and the public advocate for meeting with us and working with us on this proposal. Just to be clear, the proposed order is 10992. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Workman.
Staff supports the order and requests that the commission enter it as presented.
We support it, and the public advocate has a statement to make.
Do you have any questions?
Can I just make a brief statement?
Sure.
I just wanted to comment on this, and I appreciate Chesapeake reaching out to us and conferring with us on a potential resolution. I also this is just for the remainder of this year, the 10 cent per therm. So what I wanted to say is that this winter has been really hard on a lot of ratepayers, and both Chesapeake and Delmarva have filed these waiver requests because they are evidently significantly undercollected on this year's natural gas costs. So that means that the impacts from this winter on ratepayers are not only going to be felt in the bills they have already received, but going forward and even into next year or possibly longer, depending how these are resolved. So the impacts of this winter storm are going to carry over into next winter's bills when both utilities are, all things being equal, likely to have to have natural gas rates higher than they otherwise would be to recover these costs. We appreciate working with Chesapeake on trying to figure out how to manage that impact to ratepayers. But it is yet one more thing in the significant list of concerns on the impact to ratepayers on utility points right now. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments?
Madam Acting Chair, this is Commissioner Gray.
Yes, sir.
Yes, a question for Mr. O'Brien. You mentioned the increase. Mr. O'Brien, can you estimate the approximate percent increase per month on a typical ratepayer's bill? You gave us the dollar amount, but I don't have a perspective on roughly the percentage.
Thank you, Commissioner Gray. Let me do some high-level math here on the run. Our proposed undercollection in rough figures, our projected undercollection in rough figures is $20 million. The proposed increase decreases that by $1.5 million. Let's see. I don't even want to do this on the run. We'll have to get back to you on that. 246 per month is most likely, under 10% and probably significantly under 10%.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like your 1.5 over 20 is about 5%. So if I were looking at $2.70 some cents, I believe you quoted, and that were equal to 5%, then I'd calculate the rest. But yeah, if you can send that figure over, that would be helpful to know, but that's always more impactful to know. So in the future, if you're in the range of $3-4+ per month, it would be helpful to have a percentage figure as well. Thank you very much. No further questions, Madam Acting Chair.
Thank you.
Could I just make one further comment, because I wanted to make sure I was clear. Mr. O'Brien just sort of said this, but I just wanted to emphasize it, that this increase for the remainder of the year is only a partial recovery of the undercollection. So of the total $20 million undercollection, this will help to recover about $1.5 million of it, but that still leaves the vast majority that will need to be addressed in future years, and which will, again, all things being equal, push up natural gas rates next year. Thank you.
Commissioner Gray, was that you?
I don't believe so, but I'm prepared, Madam Acting Chair, if you're looking for a motion.
Yes.
I'll move that we adopt proposed order number 10992 as submitted.
I second.
Motion.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next thing is our hearing schedule. There's nothing under it, so we'll go to administrative matters.
Thank you, Madam Acting Chair. I just wanted to note that tonight we are having a virtual public comment session regarding Delmarva's affordability and load flexibility portfolio application. And again, just to emphasize that that will be completely virtual. And the Microsoft Teams information is on the state calendar website. Second, from staff's perspective, I wanted to thank Mr. Jordan for his service to the commission via Delmarva. And I'm glad he's not going too far. We'll see each other in Lake Hall, I'm sure. And also in the community. And people who've held that position in the past have been very active in the community, and I know have interacted specifically with Commissioner Gray in Wilmington. So that'll be great that you can help us with that. The last thing I wanted to update the commission on is Executive Order 18. Governor Meyer signed this order February 26th. It's titled the Delaware Permitting Accelerator, and the intent is to streamline and accelerate the permitting process for housing projects, priority energy projects, which impact us specifically, commercial mixed-use projects, water and sewer projects as well. So the executive order outlines specific deadlines for things like CPCNs, which already fall within the either statutory or administrative timelines that the commission currently employs. So no big issue there, but it does have some tasks for staff specifically to work with both the public advocate and DENRAC in terms of trying to streamline permitting projects for energy projects specifically. So we'll do that over the next year. And obviously, if there's anything that rises to the level that the commission would have to approve, we'll bring that before you at that time. But I'm happy to answer any questions about the executive order if you have any.
Any questions? There being none. Thank you very much.
Our next meeting is April 8th.
Yeah, then, hope it's warmer. Any other comments to be made? Meeting is adjourned.